Hi, good evening everyone. This is my sixth video on VAT. As some of you have already asked me to discuss on RCM, I have chosen the topic reverse charge mechanism today. Article 48 of Decree Law discuss with reverse charge mechanism, and Article 48, 49 and 50 of Executive Regulation discuss about RCM. Article 48 of the Decree Law deals with reverse charge mechanism. Before discussing Article 48, we need to discuss on Article 2, that is scope of tax. As per scope of tax, VAT shall be imposed on every taxable supply and deemed supply by a taxable person, and also VAT shall be imposed on the import of concerned goods. But all imports of concerned goods does not have VAT. There are certain exceptions to this law which is discussed in the Executive Regulation. Article 47 of the Executive Regulation deals with these exceptions to import. Now let's see what are those exceptions to the import. In the following cases, goods are not treated as imported for the purpose of VAT laws. Those are, first, in cases where goods are under customs duty suspension arrangements in accordance with GCC Common Customs Law. Those are the following cases. Number 1, when goods are temporarily admitted in the state. Number 2, goods are placed in a customs warehouse. Number 3, goods are only in transit in the state. And number 4, imported goods which are intended to be re-exported by the same person. In all these 4 cases, the import is not treated as import for the purpose of the VAT laws. Secondly, imported into designated zone from a place outside the state. This is also an exemption to import. Number 3 is that also it is important to note that in the following cases, VAT shall not be due on any import of goods. Number 1, goods are imported by the military forces and other internal security forces. Number 2, personal effects and gifts accompanied by the travelers. Number 3, used personal effect. Number 4, household items transported by UAE nationals living abroad on return or expats moving to live in the UAE for the first time. Number 5, return goods. In all these 5 cases, the import is not treated as import for the purpose of VAT laws. Number 3, please also note that where a person imported goods to the state through another implementing state, then the tax will not be due on that import if the authority establishes that the tax is due on the supply or transfer of goods in another implementing state. And also please note that authority may specify procedures to be followed by importers and customs department in respect of import of goods. On the exceptions to import, now we'll discuss on reverse charge mechanism. As I've already told, Article 48 of the Decree Law is dealing with reverse charge mechanism. First, we'll see the first clause in reverse charge mechanism. As per the first clause, it is mentioned if the taxable person import concerned goods or concerned services for the purpose of his business, then he is treated as making a taxable supply to himself, and that person is responsible for the applicable tax obligation and accounting for the due tax in respect of these supplies. Can be seen from 2 perspectives, that is, one from the registrant perspective and also other from the non-registrant perspective. Now let's see from the registrant's perspective. If he is a registrant, then he shall account for the tax on the value of goods or services which he is imported at the rate which is applicable if that supply of goods or services was made by a taxable person within a state, and also that registrant is responsible for the due tax in the tax return which relates to the tax period in which the date of supply of the concerned goods or concerned services takes place. Registrants. For non-registrants, they shall pay to the authority the VAT as and when the goods is released, and the payment method is through Ethereum. So now let's discuss on the clause 2 of Article 48 of reverse charge mechanism. As per clause 2, in case the final destination of the goods when entering UAE is not UAE, the final destination is another implementing state, then the taxable person shall pay the due tax on import of concerned goods pursuant to the mechanism specified by the executive regulation of this decree law. That is, as per executive regulation, it is mentioned that unless it is expressly approved by the authority to defer the payment of due tax, the taxable person shall pay the tax at the time or before the import of goods as directed by the authority. And same as I told before, the payment method is using either. See the clause 3 of reverse charge mechanism, that is, if a registrant makes a taxable supply in the state to another registrant of any crude or refined oil or hydrocarbons or processed or unprocessed natural gas, then the recipient of the goods either intends to resell the product or they use those goods as it is, or they use to produce or distribute any form of energy, then there are certain rules to be followed. In these cases, the registrant making the supply shall not charge VAT on the value of supply. It is the duty of the recipient of goods to calculate the tax on the value of goods supplied, and also he is responsible for the applicable tax obligation and also for calculating the due tax in respect of these supplies. Reverse charge.
Hope this session was useful for you. Thank you so much for watching my video. If you have more queries, please you can contact me at my WhatsApp number 0585020478, or you can email me at cajoyamatthew@yahoo.com, or you can post your comments under this link. Thank you so much. Also, please don't forget to subscribe my channel. You can press the subscribe button under this video. Thank you so much. Have a good day.